thanks for joining me. That is my day. Rinse, wash, repeat. 12 hours every day. What you just saw there was 12 hours of my day condensed down to, I think, 15 seconds. And it's the same thing pretty much every day. Like, it changes, but you know, whatever. It's basically the same thing every day. It's 40 degrees again. Well, 42, 43. It's a lot. It's really, really hot. So put you down over here so we're not walking and shaking. I'm walking up a dry riverbed at the moment. It's over 40 degrees. Today I actually want to go swimming. I was going to head to the pool in town here, but they shut at 6 and I finish work at 6, so I mean, that doesn't really work out. So we've come out of this place called Washpool. So apparently there's like hard rock, and I think the water's come down and washed out holes in it, and they hold water. So it rained last week, and apparently they've still got water in them. I'm not holding out a lot of hope, but I mean, hey, it's beautiful out here. It's nice to come out and have a look and check out a little spot out here. It's too hot to skate anyway, so I mean, what else am I going to do? Go and sit at home? Don't think so. That doesn't sound like any fun. So anyway, come along. We'll go and check it out. See all those tiny white things in my leg? They're all the way down there. I tripped over following my drone and walked through a cactus. And it's not just the pricks that are in me that hurts. It feels like a swarm of bees has stung my leg. So I'm going to sit here on this lovely rock with a beautiful view and pick thorny cactus out of my leg. So it's not only me that thinks it's hot, my drone has told me it's too hot to fly. So yeah, I think that's enough between the knee. So you can probably see there, it's been about 5 minutes. You can see all the lumps starting to grow on my leg. That's from that stingy thing I walked through. And yeah, like I say, it's been about 5 minutes. Ugh. I'm drowning in sweat. I mean, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely stunning. And I'd rather be here than in any pub, anywhere in the world. 100%, hands down. Any pub I've ever been to, I would rather be right here, right now, sweating, hurting, and overheated, than be at a pub. It's that simple. You guys mind? I'm trying to make a video. I guess they must be busy. So I've come up to a fence with this on it. So I'm gonna guess this is the pools I'm supposed to be looking for. I'll let you in a little secret. I ain't swimming in that. No way. I'll try and hold it steady so you can see it, but that's the moon up there in the sky overlooking us. Now there is a point to that. I'll tell you that point. When my mum was alive, I was working on a cattle station outback Queensland, middle of absolute nowhere, no phone service, no internet, no coverage, and I couldn't get hold of mum. I knew something wasn't right, like just from the tone of her letters and the times that I did talk to her, I could tell something wasn't 100%. And I used to be sitting outside on my veranda at night after mustering all day, and I'd look up and I'd see this massive moon up in the outback sky. I used to sit there and stare at that moon, and I'd think, yeah, I wonder if my mum, who was still living in New Zealand, so I wonder if mum's outside looking up at the moon at the same time now. And I used to feel that real connection to her. Just kangaroo scaring the bejeebus out of me. Anyway, so I would feel that connection looking at the moon. I talked to mum about it a couple of months later, and she goes, yeah, sometimes I sit outside and look at the moon and wonder the same thing. So it just made me feel really close. Like, you know, there was thousands and thousands of k's of distance between us, no communication at all, but I still felt close. When I lost mum, there was a lot of things I wanted to talk to her about. a lot of things I wanted her advice on and to hear me out on, and just someone to talk to, you know, that person that's always there and never judged you. And I could only talk about mum or to mum when I was absolutely rotten drunk. So I would drink a bottle of rum or whiskey or whatever, and I'd go outside on a full moon and I'd sit there crying to the moon and singing all my sorrows away, drinking under a full moon. Fast forward a few years, here we are now, 13 months sober. I can talk about mum like I'm talking now with no tears, and it's a really refreshing feeling, and that comes from the fact that for 8 years I hid under a blanket of alcohol from dealing with that grief. The thing is, you always have to deal with it. Drugs, alcohol, substances, they only hide things for a short time. Definitely not for a long time, and eventually you're going to have to deal with it. And I've done more healing in the last 13 months than I did in the previous 8 years. To the point where I can now sit here and talk to you about my mum and share that moment under the moon with mum watching over us. And not feel sad, but feel happy because I know she's there with me. So the reason why I say mum's looking over me when the moon's there is trying to explain to Mika where my mum was when she was a lot younger. I told her that Nana was in the moon. She lived on the moon. Because to me, my mum's spirit is in that moon. And so when I go outside and see that moon, I can feel my mum. Now the cutest little thing is Mika's taken that as the moon is Nana. So she calls the moon Nana Moon. And whenever we're out at night, she sees that moon, she'll point up at the sky and she'll go, "Daddy, Daddy, look, Nana Moon, Nana Moon." And that's how she connects to my mum. And it's a little special thing we have, and whenever we talk about mum, we always, you know, put those memories on the moon. So whenever she sees the moon, she has that connection to her Nana, which, you know, I didn't know how she was going to have, and that caused a lot of sadness for me. But it's really good to share that space with her, and so now whenever I see the moon, I know mum's there, I know she's watching over me. I don't think she would have ever thought that I'd be sober, that I'd have a kid, that I'd be settled down and living a good life and being a good dad. And it makes me really sad to think that she missed that. But I like to think that she's somewhere watching over me, and I reckon she'd be pretty damn chuffed at the moment. So that long-winded explanation there, that little moment I just shared with you, the whole point of that was what I was thinking when I got out here. I was disappointed to see basically the sludge pond. After walking, getting stung, all the other things that happen, and how hot it is and not being able to swim. But then I realised that life, man, it's about the journey. It's about the journey. It's not always about the destination, you know. I didn't want to get sober because I had somewhere to be. It was a journey, and it was a journey I had to undertake, and it's one I'm still undertaking to this day. And I love every single minute of it. It's just amazing. Listen to that. You don't get to hear that sitting in a pub. So that's my whole point. Enjoy the journey. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it takes you a long way to get nowhere. But it's always worth doing. You'll notice I'm wearing the same shirt as yesterday. My Soberholic shirts haven't arrived yet. Hopefully they'll be here next week. Link in the description below. Check out the rest of the channel for more videos. Subscribe right there. Thank you so much for listening to my story. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!